Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures and Wallstreet. Wanted to say I had to take a few days off. I'd spent some time with my son going to Boston for an ice hockey tournament, and I just recently celebrated my 40th birthday. My wife's birthday is tomorrow. We're born in the same year, 2 days apart, and our initials are the same. So pretty amazing stuff. Some sort of breaking news, but more, it's really the content of what's really happening is that Arkansas, as well as 4 other states, have literally declared precious metals as a source of currency. You can use it to pay off bills. You can use it in local governments. It is their way of fighting against the cabal. It's their way of just saying, look, enough of this manipulation of the dollar, the financial currency resets. We want to align ourselves with a gold back. Ever since the removal of the gold standard, since the early 70s, eventually what is happening right now is we have this reverse Gresham law. Gresham law, also known as Theirs law, like THEIR, Theirs law, is you're going to drive out bad money with good money. And so they're saying precious metals is our potential good money and the bad money is the dollar. So I didn't come up with this, but this is a law. And now Wyoming, Oklahoma, Utah, as well as Arkansas, they're able to accept your precious metals as tender to pay off taxes and local debt, whatever your city debt that you have. So that's pretty interesting. That is very interesting. So, and then on top of that, if you guys remember the podcast we had about 2 weeks ago, just look it up. It's called the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Let me shut my cell phone off because I will get distracted. Brazil, Russia, India, and China they're just doubling down. Like they do not want to do anything with the U.S. or the dollar. So what they're doing is they actually created a Panama Canal on steroids. It's called the Road Initiative Map, and you can look it up. The Initiative Road, and basically what it's going to do, it's going to connect Brazil, Russia, India, China, one railroad. They're going to have multiple bridges. They're going to have multiple railroads, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is quarterbacking the whole deal. And so they're going to use military to force goods on other countries, and they're going to use their own currency. How does that pertain to us? Well, you see states like Wyoming, Oklahoma, Utah, and now Arkansas. The governor Huckabee over there, God bless her. They're just tired of the tyranny. They're tired of the market manipulations. What does that have to do with our listeners? What does that have to do with Scriptures and Wallstreet? What does that have to do with me as a God-fearing, conservative financial advisor? Well, let me say my disclosure here. This information on this podcast is for educational purposes. This is not investment advice. I am securities licensed. I am a financial advisor, but this information should be used for educational purposes only. If you are interested in getting advice, please give us a call, 813-448-3446, or book an appointment at cortezwm.com. Okay, with that being said, S&P actually rose this month about 2.79% last time I checked yesterday. And we've had some news about inflation cooling off. So there's a lot of little things that are adding up to what's causing a quite panic. And we all know that when we have these Luciferians in legislative and executive office, that economy is not important to them. The economy is not in their interest. They have a lot of garbage behind that they're being blackmailed with its Hunter's laptop, whether it's the pedophilia going on in the industries and in Washington. I believe that China and all these other countries have a lot of dirt on us, and so we're becoming their slave. I don't think that America will fold. I think at the end of the day, we're Americans, and that we carry that spirit of freedom. We still carry that warrior spirit, that we are still strong. I still believe in America. So if you are a Debbie Downer and you think the dollar is going to crash and that we're going to be, and you're in this state of fear all the time, like I rebuke that spirit. Like you will not live a successful, godly life. Like God has called us to be warriors for him. God has called us to do great. We are the head and not the tail. We do not live in fear, but of love, power, and sound mind. You're not going to get love and power and sound mind. Listen to podcasts and the media and the Fox and CNN turmoil. You're not going to get it. You're going to fear your insecurities through the devil's box called the TV. Grandma said it right. That's the devil's box. She said it right. So my job here, actually, it's not a job. I feel like it's a calling. My role in all of this is literally just to send message and promote the blood of Jesus on the cross. Like he sacrificed his sovereignty. He sacrificed all that he had. Even the devil tempted him and he couldn't even win. That same blood is shed because he was perfect so that we can strive to have perfection. And my message to you guys today is, yes, Arkansas is using gold as a currency, and now Wyoming and Oklahoma and Utah. We don't have to fear. We just have to plan. And so we can't live life. Men, we can't live life without the cross, without Jesus. Jesus was a savage, man. Like Jesus was like the strongest being, most gracious being that ever walked this planet. Like he just was a warrior king. And when we put our hearts with him, all things just pass. All things just pass. He is a king of peace. So if you're worried about the financials of this country, as you should be, you're normal. Please spend time in prayer and get your confidence from the Lord. Read your Bible every single day. Go out for a walk and talk with God. Have your heart centered with Christ, because everything that I say is really not going to do anything for you if you don't have that. And that is not for educational purposes. That is for practical purposes. Okay? So have that relationship with God. Like no amounts of silver or gold or toilet paper or survival food or ammo is going to prepare you for what's about to happen. There, I said it. No amounts of gold, silver, precious metals, none of that is going to prepare you for what's about to happen. You have to have a relationship with Christ. And if you don't, then I am more than happy to pray with you. You can call our office, 813-448-3446. We want to use our business to promote God's grace. We want to be centered with him. And I know people come to us because we're not some woke company. We don't promote the LGBT agenda. I've been racially profiled as a kid. I've been financially distraught by money managers that stole us money. I've been sued a bunch of times because money managers have stole money. I've been through the pit. I've literally died on the COVID deathbed with the Delta strain. And it wasn't ivermectin that saved me. It was God's grace. And no, I'm not vaccinated. And yes, I got Resdemivired. And I did allow them to Resdemivir because I was desperate. However, I didn't know all the things, and because I was desperate and I couldn't breathe, I'd rather have that than being ventilated. So that was my option when I was in the hospital, but I'm still here because it was God's grace, guys. It was God's grace. I did see God's feet on the deathbed. I heard him. I was able to see his glory for literally like 12 seconds, and it literally changed my life. I had that outer body experience, and I told God, I said, God, if you can save me, I'll do whatever I can to promote you. And so this is what that looks like. It's the getting on in the World Wide Web and preaching and being a witness of his glory. And yes, it's about the money on this show. And that's what attracts people to this show, is talking about money, because people love money. But it's not the love of money that I'm here. It really is just using this platform to promote God's grace. You don't know how many calls I've gotten because of a Muslim in another country, or somebody in another faith said that their lives has been changed because of this particular podcast. So to me, it's all worth it. The comments that you guys troll, I could care less what you say. Call me a fraud, call me a scammer, call me this and that, whatever. You only care about yourself. You don't see what's going on in the deep. And so that's you. Hey, go troll someone else. And if you're a client, there's a reason why you're here. All right. So reverse Gresham law basically will drive out the bad money. And what this really is, actually, what my prediction is that we may be utilizing this. The dollar could weaken, and it's looking like it's going to completely collapse, fundamentally speaking, with Brazil, Russia, and China, with this roadmap they're doing. They're going to create their own currency. The banks want to go all electronic. Digital wallets are going to be forced when it comes to Social Security, in my opinion. We have transportation as a service that will go completely digital. The Project 2030 electronic vehicles will be the standard. And I could totally see artificial intelligence just controlling the heck out of us. And so, like I said, I totally can see that we will go to a digital dollar. You would go to work if you still work at an office. You would drive your robotic Uber that doesn't have a human being in it. They will trace where you're going to work, how you're going to work. And if you try to finance your life out of this because you have a bank account that you agreed to open up a bank account, and then you said on your privacy notice that if you do not abide by what they deem as behavioral compliance, they will shut you off. They will shut you off. So another reason why Bitcoin is starting to surge a little bit is because people are seeing this, and the government really can't control Bitcoin. They can't crack the code on it. They can trace it. They can hire people to trace it, but they cannot manipulate the price on it. It is actually the people's money. Robert Kiyosaki is a gold guy. He's an old school guy, and he loves gold, and he really, really swears by gold and precious metals. But he also understands the power of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can be traded, manipulated by the hedge funds. I get that. If anyone gets that, it's definitely me. But there's going to be some value in there long term, because people are not wanting to be traced. Like, even Democrats are calling me, liberals are calling me to manage their assets because they don't even want to be traced. So since they own the media and they want to paint a picture of what a man is and what a woman is and what all this, like, I mean, MTV is headquartered in the same place as the Freemasons. So I don't want to dive deep into the Freemasons, but you guys know what's going on there. They control our media. They control our media. And I honestly don't even know what's going on with Tucker, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Stu about it, or any of my sources. But I mean, that's what happens when you become effective. And eventually everybody has a number until they don't want to agree with that number, and they just walk away. So I think Tucker will do a lot better without Fox, and it's coincidental that their stock is plummeting right now. So if you're looking for a good short, might want to look at shorting or buying some puts on Fox right now. Again, educational purposes, is not investment advice, but it's not looking good for Fox. And a lot of truthers that only watch Tucker because they like Tucker, they are just not dealing with it. It looks like Fox is turning over to be who they really are, is a liberal media. They just want to mock us and try to cater to the conservatives when they're really not. So you're going to see a huge shift to OAN streaming, to alternative media like the Stu Peters Network, Scriptures and Wallstreet. You're going to see a huge turn into media that's not controlled by mainstream media, that's not controlled by the Democrats. But also be on the lookout on the individuals that are getting bought out, right, with the hidden agenda. So be very careful with that. As this transformation happens, there's going to be news sources that are independently led, and you're going to have awesome time reading them, but them too are going to be vulnerable because everybody has a number, guys. Everybody has a number, and it's just tough. It really is tough. Like, even in my industry, advisors often get offered several $1 million to go with the big banks. They tried to do that with me, and I told them go screw off. Actually, I told them told him some nice profanity. Look, just because I love Jesus doesn't mean I don't curse. So he's still working on me and my rage issues. But anyways, big problem right now I see is obviously we have inflation. Inflation is massive. You're going to the grocery stores. You can't even buy freaking eggs under $10 right now. It's stupid. Like, my kids drink organic milk, and daggone milk is like $15 at the grocery stores if you buy 2 or 3 of them. It's $9 a gallon. All right. So when we have high inflation, and if you look at this chart, you have high inflation. Last year, it was over 9%. Yay. It's going to be 5% moving forward. Right? That's a freaking joke, guys. Like, Powell said, oh, inflation needs to be 5%. All right, so they're printing money, trying to control inflation. That's going to shoot us in the foot and the ass in the throat later down the road through taxation. But deflation is a huge risk right now, a huge risk. So I just want to prepare you what that looks like, what it means. Deflation, disinflation. Oh man, it's okay. So prices get lowered when it comes to deflation. Prices get lowered, and stay with me for a second. If the dollar stabilizes and prices get lowered, what really happens? You know, Warren Buffett said, I don't buy my sweaters. I don't buy my sweaters in the winter. I wait till the summer, and I buy the sweaters and the clothing in the summer when people don't need them. So he has a basically a passive deflation mindset, a value mindset. And so what happens with deflation is, as the government tries to print money and cool off and manipulate the dollar and manipulate the inflation rates, then prices come down. They will in times of deflationary period. We're kind of seeing that right now, with prices somewhat coming down a little bit, but that's a trap, because what happens is people hold on to their money, silver, gold, or whatever. Oh, just dropped some silver here. They hang on to their money, and basically prices come down. And so they stop buying goods. And because they stop buying goods, the businesses aren't profitable. The employees cut hours. And then you have a full-blown recession. We started seeing that a little bit. You started seeing that a little bit in 2008, where prices came down. Prices came down. However, it wasn't deflation that actually happened. It was basically the prices came down, which is a sign of disinflation. It was deflation and disinflation. So there's two differences. Deflation is the actual act, deflation is basically the price is going down. Simple as that. The price is going down. Deflation is the cause and the actual action of those prices going down. So deflation is what I'm talking about. And they try to manipulate that with monetary policies, printing and spending money. And it also has a huge impact on consumer confidence. So if you have $1,000 and you wanted to buy a lawnmower, and you go to your Ace Hardware to buy your lawnmower, you see the prices coming down, you might wait to that Father's Day sale, or you might wait till the Veterans Day sale, or you just might wait because you see it going down from $1,000 to $900 to $800. Then you check online and you see it for $495, and you're like, I don't want to buy it online. I'd rather buy it local. That actually is deflation, because you're waiting to spend your money. Well, if you never go to that store to purchase it, that cashier, that store, and employees lose their paycheck because they weren't able to make a profit or anything at all. And so because those jobs have been hindered, they too will not spend money in the economy. And so the economy just comes down rushing. Now, we haven't had deflation in the U.S. economy since the Great Depression. We've had signs, but we've also haven't had these type of inflationary rates at all over 40 years. So I wanted just to prepare you what that looks like, because pennies are gone. Like, go in your house and try to find pennies. I couldn't find one. I actually had one here on my desk and it disappeared, because in 1982, they converted, in 1983, when I was born, they converted everything to zinc from copper, and people were actually melting copper because the cost of copper was higher than the value of the penny itself. Government caught on quick, and they sanctioned anyone from melting the copper pennies, $10,000 or 5 years in prison. So if you have copper pennies, they're probably worth more than a penny. Go look for pennies that are newer or older than 1983 and older. I just had one and I can't find it. But yeah, so that's a perfect example of Gresham's law, or Thayer's law, where people are not using pennies anymore. And the fear is that that's going to happen to our paper dollar, is that we're just not going to use the dollar anymore. Hey, that could be true. I don't think it's conspiracy anymore. And we might go back to precious metals. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. We just plan for it. So you need to have a process. You need to have some silver bars in your house. You need to have some gold. You need to have some coins, palladium and platinum and any type of precious metals that do well when there's high inflationary periods. But you also need to have liquid money. And these are liquid, but it's cumbersome. Like, you can't bite off a piece of silver and go buy a piece of bread. I don't know how the cashiers at the grocery store are going to handle that. But we could ask Wyoming, Oklahoma, Utah, and Arkansas what they're going to be doing are they going to melt it right in front of you and say, oh, you owe 50 more cents, and then grab another piece of your silver and melt it off? I have no idea what that looks like. It's not really portable in that aspect. So I'm sure that will get all figured out. And then you have the purity, right? Like, because a lot of these silver bars are not pure. They're not 99%. And so when I buy from Cornerstone, they send me the finest is 99.9%. So these are pure silver. And you want to, if you're buying precious metals, there's two things you want to know is you want to get it certified. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a certificate. Probably not. I got too many lights in the studio, but there's a certificate behind every single bar or coin, and they're wrapped in plastic to hold them. So, and guys, if you're buying precious metals, here's the thing. You want to buy from a Christian-based dealer that loves God, country, and family. I love Cornerstone. You don't have to call our office. You can call them directly. 888-747-3309. 888-747-3309. They're my preferred gold and silver dealer. You want to have some money in a area where the government really can't control it. Yes, they've taken gold back 2 times already. But silver is not a tier 1 currency. It's industrial metal. And so what that basically means, it's harder for anyone to basically recoup that or compensate that because it's an industrial metal. And then if you have scriptures on it, now it's religiously exempt. See how that works? We can use that against them too. So we like silver, but not on all your money. And also the other thing when you're buying precious metals to prepare for a crashing dollar or the inevitable, no, precious metals is not your all be all. It's not going to save your life. You're just preparing for it. And so this is why I only recommend less than a third of your assets, liquid assets, into this. I also recommend money in the market. Right now, we're not in the stock market. We're in treasury bills. All my clients, everybody is in treasury bills. We're just making our 4.25%, chilling. America's still strong. They haven't defaulted ever on their treasury notes. And if they do, we got bigger problems than money. So you need to have a little bit of assets in a liquid bucket that is generating returns for you in a safe manner. And the third layer of bucket, we call this green money. If you don't know what green money is, go back and check on rumble.com, type in Carlos Cortez or Color of Money. I think they put a U in it. Color of Money, and that podcast will teach you the red, yellow, and green system that we use. But we want to have a contractually guarantee on your principal. And this is why I like contract law, because if there is a financial reset and they are going gold back again, now you have an insurance contract that's protecting your principal in many ways. Whatever the fiat is at the time, whatever the currency is at the time, now you have insurance, contract law, and attorneys protecting your money. So I would rather have that than having money in the stock market, having paper trails, having insurance on your money. So I preach that every episode. Contact our office if you don't know what that looks like. 813-448-3446. Yes, you are backed by the strength of the insurance company when you purchase alternative assets or insurance programs for your money. But let me tell you, these insurance companies have layers of protection. They have cash reserves. They have a reinsurance company that has cash reserves. And the state, particularly in your state, has a fund available to protect each and every contract. So I like 3 layers of protection on your safe money. I like to have guarantees on your money. I like that we have precious metals in case the market or the dollar just goes kaput and the BRICS are running the whole country or the whole world. We don't know. I still believe in America. I believe that we will storm through this. I believe the American way is the only way. We are the world leaders. I'm completely sold out to America, like my dad is. My dad fought for our country, and so did all those awesome troops that I grew up with and their children. Don't give up on America, guys. We need to pray for our country. We don't need to play the victim card and then Debbie Downer, Nancy, whatever you want to call it. We do not want to default on America. I love this country. I don't care if China Joe, Stupid Face Joe, and Kamala are destroying it. We need to stand, hold our line, protect what your family fought for years and what those troops fought for. Control our spirit of economy, our spirit of enterprise, our spirit of freedom. Bring God back into the basics of our lives. Have that habitual habit of acknowledging him every morning. And like Leviticus says, he will heal our land. If we turn from our wicked ways, he will heal our land. So thank you, Lord, for those awesome words. But the reverse Gresham law, I just wanted to bring two things. The reverse Gresham law, like I can't even find pennies in my house, and I'm not even joking. So that goes to show you how inflation works. Like eventually it will just fade away. So comment on the comments, like, were you able to find pennies, or how hard it was, and be truthful if you can find pennies in your home. Because I couldn't. I found one, and it was in 1982, so it was actually a copper one. And that may be how the dollar is right now. We might just not use the dollar anymore, the $1 bill, because it's pointless. And at some point, it costs too much money to print it. So Gresham's law is driving bad money out with good money. So the dollar could be that, but that's okay, because we prepare for this, guys. We prepare for market resets. We prepare for market financial fluctuation. We prepare for overtaxation. We prepare for deflation. We prepare for inflation. We prepare for financial resets. We prepare for financial inoculations. We prepare for maximizing your withdrawals out of your IRA. We prepare for Social Security. We prepare and we prepare. And some of the questions you have to ask your advisor is, when do I take Social Security? What's my standard deviation? You know, what's the money invested in? Are you invested in God, country, and family? Are you invested in these woke companies? Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for where you're invested in. God will never question how much money you made. He'll question your character. That's all it is. So just keep in mind that when you own these investments, you're actually supporting whatever you own. So you want to make sure that you're supporting God, country, and family, not this ESG crap. I mean, I can go on and on about ESG and how they want the LGBT mindset. They want people that have a chopped penis off that converted into artificial vagina, and they want to promote them as women of the year. And they want to build their whole company as a spokesperson that they did this. Look at Bud Light. It's going to blow up in their face. Complete dumbass people, man. Like I don't drink beer, but men, just so you know, beer promotes estrogen. So if you like man boobs, keep on drinking beer. And I'm not trying to judge anybody, but this is how the media portrays beer drinking cool and it's manly and this and that. But you're actually building estrogen. You're building estrogen. So maybe you drink wine. I don't know. But yeah, I don't drink at all. And I'm not this self-righteous guy because I'm a sinner myself. I sin every day, I'm sure. And it's God's grace that heals me. It's God's grace that keeps me motivated. But the point of what I'm getting at is the mainstream media wants to weaken the man. They want to make us wear purses and do our nails, and it's okay to be feminine and do as I wilt, the satanic cliche. They want to just make us look weak, and they promote Christianity as weak. And Jesus was a savage, man. Like he was just a warrior king, and he could take a beating. Like when they beat him on that cross, any man would have died within 3 minutes, 2 minutes of that severe beating he got. But he was such a strong specimen of a godly human being. Well, he wasn't human. He came down as a human, but we all know he wasn't really human. He was God himself. And he could have just ripped himself off that cross, but he died knowing that he needed us. He needed himself so that we can be saved by all the sins of the world. John 3:16. Guys, don't forget that. I think we forget the basic simple rules in our lives is that John 3:16, that he gave his only begotten son. Like, there's power in that. There's realization of power in that. There's glory in that. And we just have to prepare. I don't want you guys to fearmonger. We have the solutions at Cortez Wealth Management. I've been doing this for close to 20 years now. And I've seen a lot of market manipulations. The manipulations are crazy right now. The inflations, the disinflation, the threat of disinflation and deflation, it's a real thing. Like, it's a real thing that could happen. It could destroy your retirement. Even with all this garbage going on, the S&P is still growing. How about that for manipulation? So you got to have a solution. There's a lot of unknowns out there. Give us a call. Let us speak life into you and your portfolio. Let us help you transform your portfolio through our red, yellow, and green system and our covenant process. We want to make sure that you're taken care of. We want to be a light for you. Before I end, I had a lot of people ask me, how did my son do in Rhode Island again? Well, this time we had a few games in Rhode Island last week, and we also had some time to spend in Boston. My son is a travel ice hockey player. He's 10 years old, and not only did they win the whole thing, but they actually went undefeated. So I'm thrilled that he started to play. He got inspired by an NHLer that visited his school when he was in grade school. He still is in grade school, but he was like in first grade and really inspired him. He said, "Pops, I want to be an ice hockey player." And I said, okay. Well, for 4 years now, he's still trying to learn how to skate, position, learn the game. And it's amazing to see all that work and dedication he's committed himself to use his God-given perseverance to win. And so I'm there to witness that. And we won the whole tournament. One team, they beat them 20-0. In ice hockey, there's no mercy rule. So these kids, I asked the coach, I'm like, "Hey coach, 20-0, these kids are going to go crying home." He said, "Good. They need to learn how to lose. I'm tired of the participation award attitudes." And I said, "Hey, I support that." So they actually, they won, and they tried to, these are people that live in liberal states. So they love playing the victim mindset. Like, oh, life is, they're angry. They're always angry. They're always scared. They're just always frustrated. And people live in misery like that, in the victim mindset, and it translates into their lives, into their kids, and it's a vicious cycle. So if you don't know what that is, go to the podcast with Skylar Lewis, one of my mentors with Rise Up Kings. If you're a man and you're trying to become a God-driven, strong man of God, then go to riseupkings.com. That is my personal group of God-fearing warriors. We have a mission to get rid of the wussification of what a godly man is in this country and to develop leaders. That's our mission, or one of their missions, I would say. And riseupkings.com, they're an amazing group. I do not get paid at all to promote them. I just do it because they really are making a difference in marriages and in men and in businesses and as households. And we need that spirit. We need that testosterone. We need that godly leadership. But yeah, having him go to Boston was amazing. Also, yesterday was my birthday. I'm filming this on the 27th. Yesterday was my 40th. I turned 40 years old. I know I've been in this industry since I was 21 years old. So it's do the math. It makes me almost a senior citizen, veteran in the industry. But my wife's birthday is tomorrow. We celebrate our 40th, literally just 2 days apart. Here's a picture of me and my wife. She bought these like cute little lawn signs that, decorations. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was an amazing week, and we just got to keep God first. And I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble, but I think it's important to talk about these things. They're uncomfortable. You're not going to get this information on the mainstream media. You're not going to be able to trust most people because they work with the big banks. I don't trust the big banks. If you have money in the banks, find alternative measures. We have solutions for you that are just as liquid. And, to my opinion, the banks aren't safe because of the switches they have access to. And these bank bailouts, which are bail-ins, but now they're going back to bailouts and breaking the law because Yellen said so. It's funny how they can overstep the law, because in 2010 they got rid of bailouts and commissioned bail-ins, but not if you're SVP or Providence Bank or First Republic Bank or Signature Bank. Like, they're literally bailing out these companies, and that's not even supposed to happen. So it's important to have a solution where you are not being fear-mongered into something. So give us a call. We are consultants here, and I want to leave you with one scripture that was very powerful that sung to me earlier today. Proverbs 22:16, one who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and one who gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. I didn't say it, God said it. One who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and one who gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. So the brown noser and the shark, you will eventually become poor. Pretty amazing stuff. As you are searching for what is right for you and your family, be careful of who you do business with. If you're just buying gold and silver, you don't need to pay 20% to buy your gold and silver, or 25%. And you definitely don't want to pay that amount when you're selling it. There are other options out there. Contact Cornerstone, 888-747-3309. Also, if you're trying to defund the woke, please visit my self-sponsor at switchmyproductsusa.com. Switchmyproductsusa.com. They have a mission to only buy their deodorants, their breath mints, their laundry detergents, their hand soaps, their coffees only from a God-fearing American company that promotes American jobs. So the next deodorant or shampoo you buy, definitely buy it through switchmyproductsusa.com. There is a process. It's an online wellness patriot club. So you definitely, they don't want just a normal person going in there. They they don't want somebody just buying in bulk and selling it on a Chinese driven website like Amazon. So they actually stay true to their mission. So I really support them. I do the same thing with financial companies. Any financial company that I use, they didn't force mandate their employees with vaccines. The insurance companies I use, they didn't force vaccinate or face mask their employees. And if they did, I literally just fire them. So give us a call, 813-448-3446. Also, if you would like to have amazing living water out of your home, go to americafirstwater.com, and you can have fluoride-free alkaline water from the tap of your home. Amazing, amazing stuff. Like I said, that stuff has healed my diabetes. It's helped my mom with her arthritis, and it's also lowered my blood pressure. I can only speak on my experience. I'm not saying it can cure anything, but americafirstwater.com. Those are our sponsors, guys. With that being said, I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Stay in the word, stay true to yourself, create that habit, and do not fear. Do not fear. God bless. Bye-bye.